Raise your hand if you've ever set a goal only to completely quit within a few short weeks. The process of setting goals is fun and exciting, but sticking to those goals is hard. Evidence shows that by some estimates, around 80% of people fail to keep their New Year's resolutions by February. So instead of setting the same goals year in and year out, use research-backed strategies to help you finally hit your financial goals. If you're new to my channel, my name is Priscilla. I'm a former accountant and CPA, and on this channel, I talk about all things related to personal finance. In this video, I'll be covering 5 research-backed goal-setting strategies. I recommend watching this entire video through because each strategy brings something unique, but if there's a particular strategy you want to skip ahead to, I'll leave timestamps in the description box below. This first strategy is all around defining the right goal for you. Because obviously if you're working toward the wrong goal, then you're never going to actually achieve it. Instead, according to Professor Richard Schell from the University of Pennsylvania, you should start by asking yourself a series of 4 questions. The first question is, what does success mean to you? So sticking with financial goals, it could be financial freedom or having the ability to retire early, or having more disposable income. Whatever success is, define what that is for you because it looks different for every single person. The second question is, what excites you and what drains you? So this question is important because obviously you want to spend the bulk of your time focusing on things that excite you and that bring you energy rather than focusing on things that drain you and just leave you feeling completely tired. Third is, what do you do better than most people? So this question is all about finding your competitive edge, and we all have one. You may not think you have one, but trust me, you have one. We all have something unique about ourselves that we do really well. So once you lean more into that and you know what that is where you find success. And the fourth question is, are you evaluating both sides of success, both external and internal? Because I think a lot of the time we tend to focus on external success, being seen as a success story or finally having the nice things that you've always wanted. But there are a lot of internal benefits to achieving your goals as well. Just the satisfaction of knowing that you set your mind to something and you achieved it and that you were consistent and persistent throughout trials. That is also very satisfying as well, and you don't want to forget about that part. So to summarize this first strategy, ask the right questions so you can be guided toward the right goal that you should be striving toward. The second strategy is called WHOOP, and it is a goal-setting strategy that is backed by over 20 years of research. And WHOOP stands for Wish, Obstacle, Outcome, and Plan. So step 1, identify your wish. And for example, your goal could be to save $10,000 for your emergency fund this year. Step 2 is imagine the outcome. So once you have obtained your wish, think about what life would be like once you have that thing. So for example, with the emergency fund, once you build up your emergency fund, then you'll feel comfortable, you'll have a peace of mind knowing that if you suddenly lose your job or you have large medical or dental bills, that you'll be able to cover it without causing yourself a lot of financial strain. From there, you want to define the potential obstacles. And this is a really big step that I think is often missed in goal setting because obviously we want to achieve an outcome, but we don't always think about what our current conditions or situation is like that may prevent us from obtaining our goal. So for example, with the emergency fund, you may have an issue with impulse spending and sticking to your budget. And knowing that and identifying that is really important because that leads into the next step, which is planning to overcome those obstacles. So say if you have that problem with impulse spending, maybe you can commit to waiting 24 hours before making a purchase or creating a realistic budget every single month and actually sticking to it. I really like the WHOOP strategy because it lays out an easy and simple to follow plan from start to finish. This next strategy focuses on attacking something that we all struggle with from time to time, which is procrastination. And this strategy breaks down into 5 simple steps. Step 1 is to just get going and do not put it off until later. I like to remind myself that the task isn't going anywhere. I can't give it to anybody to do for me, and there is really no running away from it, so I just have to get started. The second step is to block out distractions, and this is really important because anytime you get started on a task, there are always things competing for our attention. I personally like to use the focus settings on my iPhone whenever I need to get something done so that I'm not distracted by any incoming notifications. Step number 3 is to set a timer for 25 minutes, and you may be wondering the significance of 25 minutes, and I was too, but this is actually called the Pomodoro technique. And Pomodoro is Italian for tomato, and I hope I'm saying that right, but if I'm not, let me know in the comments below how to actually pronounce that. But the Pomodoro technique was created by Francis Cirello in the late 1980s when he was a student in university, and he was using a tomato-shaped timer to organize his study schedule, and he settled on 25-minute intervals as the optimal time for his needs. And the whole idea behind this is that most anybody can focus on a task for 25 minutes. Step number 4 is to focus, and if you've completed steps 2 and 3 correctly, this should be very easy to do. And step number 5 is reward yourself when the timer goes off. So when that timer hits after 25 minutes, maybe grab a light snack or stand up and stretch. But the idea is to not take too long of a break, because the Pomodoro technique recommends a 2 to 5 minute break after each 25-minute interval. And after 4 intervals of 25 minutes, take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. You can rinse and repeat this whole 5-step process every single time you need to just focus and get work done towards one of your goals. This 4th strategy comes from Professor Richard Mayhew at UC Davis, and this one tip can increase goal achievement by 80%. According to Professor Mayhew, the most critical resource for goal setting is an accountability partner. An accountability partner is someone who will just check in with you and help you stay focused along the journey to achieving your goal. Research shows that if you think of a goal and then you write it down, you have a 30% chance of achieving that goal. But if you share your goal with an accountability partner, you have an 80% chance of achieving that goal. I personally found this to be true for myself and my own goal setting experience. I know that even just the process of saying the goal out loud makes it more real to me, and then saying it to someone else puts a little bit more pressure on myself, not in a bad way, but in a good way, knowing that this person is gonna hold me accountable, and I know they're gonna check in on me on this goal, and I want to have something to report back to them on my progress. But I will say that be careful who you choose to share your goals with, because unfortunately, not everybody is for you, and some people are secret haters. So obviously you don't want to share your goals with people like that. So just use discernment and pray about it before you actually share your goal with somebody. But the moral of the story here is do not keep your goals to yourself. This 5th strategy is a very robust approach to goal setting, as it involves creating an entire goal network that is a hierarchy of superordinate, intermediate, and subordinate goals. A superordinate goal sits at the top of the goal hierarchy, and it defines some type of big picture, idealized vision that you have for yourself. And for example, with financial goals, an example of a superordinate goal could be being wealthy. Then the next level below that in the hierarchy is your intermediate goals, and these are less abstract than your superordinate goal and provide you with a general direction that would help you to achieve your overall superordinate goal. For example, keeping with the idea of the superordinate goal of being wealthy, then intermediate goals could be investing consistently, spending money wisely, saving, being financially organized. Then at the lowest level of your hierarchy, that is where you find your subordinate goals. And these are the specific actionable steps that you can actually do to achieve your intermediate goals. So keeping with the intermediate goal of investing consistently, some subordinate goals could be investing enough money to earn your full employer 401k match, or investing $500 per month in order to max out your Roth IRA at the end of the year. So whatever specific actionable steps that you can think of to achieve your intermediate goals, those will go into your subordinate goals. So to sum this strategy up, this is all about taking your big kind of abstract goal and breaking it down into smaller chunks so that you can actually see the steps that you need to take to achieve your overall goal. Comment below and tell me which one of these 5 strategies resonates with you the most. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more personal finance content.